Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. And I was going to review Scream, but I've been having a lot of trouble getting that 4K UHD Steelbook, and it seems like I'm not the only one, so let's see about actually continuing another series before I start a new one. Species! You remember that one, right? H.R. Geiger's creature designs for a film about a biomechanoid horror erotica alien that uses humans to reproduce, but differently than an alien. Way back when I tackled the first movie, and sometime after that touched on the second. And it's understandable for you to assume that after Species 2, and the series would have absolutely nowhere to go, especially if anyone was interested in actually making money on it. Well, that's where low-budget, straight-to-video sequels come into play. Bringing us Species 3, direct-to-DVD in 2004. Despite the questionable direction taken in Species 2, Species 3 picks up right where that left off and gives us another Species movie. Alien-human hybrid that looks like a hot chick is naked and spends most of the movie trying to reproduce. Humans continue to make stupid decisions, toying with powers beyond their comprehension, and the body count rises. But allegedly, one of the producers thought it would be easier for the audience to identify with a younger cast, so for some reason, the entire story takes place on a college campus. Anyway, let's take a look at Species 3, because you just can't look away from a train wreck like that. Well, first we gotta set the mood, so we open up with a little call-in radio show about alien species. And the lady on the line, Colleen, played by Patricia Bethune, thinks she knows why aliens are all the rage nowadays.
It was our atomic energy. They detected it.
Nothing like a good old retcon. Yeah, forget about all of that SETI shit established in the first movie, actually making contact with extraterrestrial life and sending those signals, and we got an alien that way. No, fuck that. It's just that we started setting off fireworks, and the neighbors were like, keep it down! With that out of the way, we can jump right back to where the last movie left off. Eve's corpse is being driven around in the back of an army truck. The driver, Abbott, played by Robert Knepper, has a handy-dandy interior monologue to catch the audience up on the story so far. Eve back there, played by Natasha Henstridge, was the star of the last two movies, and an alien-human hybrid creature with alien DNA sent from space! Kind of fucked things up for a lot of people, but Abbott doesn't think that's any reason to stop now. He can take her cold, dead ass and purify her DNA to be even more perfect.
Only then will we understand why she was sent.
We did kind of already cover that in the first movie. It's not 100%, but the best theory going was that the DNA sent over from space was specifically to wipe humanity out, as we were seen as an invasive species. But there's this thing about Abbott. He's not actually an army guy. He's a random college professor who just so happened to infiltrate this little operation in an attempt to steal Eve.
You're from the reserves or something?
Something like that.
Which brings up a lot of questions, like, how did he even know in the first place that this insanely secretive operation was taking place? How did he know that they would kill Eve and put her on a truck and he'd get this chance? How was he able to just waltz in and pretend to be an army guy and no one fucking questioned it in an operation this top fucking secret? And why in the hell is not a single one of these questions even explored in this movie, let alone answered? Moving on, before you think too much about this, he informs his passenger that he will not be driving the direction they're actually supposed to. But more importantly, the half-breed child from the end of the last movie kills the passenger. And hey, Eve's alive too, and she has a baby. And the half-breed just snaps her neck because, because they didn't pay Natasha Henstridge nearly enough to actually stay in this movie. But while Half and Half was doing that, Abbott escaped with a newborn. Kid should have known he'd Batman out of there when he slipped out of frame. But who will deal with this mess? Well, none of the old characters. Actors cost too much. So we got Discount Dr. Loomis, Agent Wasak, played by Michael Warren.
Find that driver.
Yes, sir.
You may be wondering how they intend to find that missing driver. Simple. By completely ignoring this point for the rest of the movie and hoping you forget about it. Besides, you gotta move on to more important characters as well as locations and MacGuffins that'll obviously come in very handy during the climax. Our industrial power plant, the classic action movie climax locale, with a 5-cent tour being given by Dean, played by Robin Doon, whom the Blu-ray box describes as an actress. Well, he's not here to show these suits the wonders of natural gas electricity, but magical fusion power. That's right. Despite the lore in the first movie establishing mankind trusted the alien space signals because before the horrifying monster DNA code, they sent the key to unlimited clean energy, for some reason we still don't have unlimited clean energy, or just kind of putzing around with the same tech that we swear is just 20 years away. For real this time.
I'd love to be able to fire this thing up myself and show you, but unfortunately there's only one guy who can do that, and that's the head of the department with his own personal access key.
Everybody got that?
Moving on, we see a cat. And here it get horrifyingly killed, in case you were wondering whether or not the alien baby is dangerous this time. But have to immediately move on because when Dean isn't giving tours of amazing future technology to executives and investors, he's late for class! A class under our mysterious driver from the opening scene. He's a professor who has some kind of erotic fascination with viri. Something Dean scoffs at as how can a virus be perfect if it needs a host to survive? Hearing this, Dr. Abbott snaps, talking about the last few strains of smallpox currently in captivity awaiting destruction.
I guess that pleases you, right? Who are you to judge which species lives or dies?
Professor, he didn't say anything even remotely suggesting that conclusion. Is the statement, nobody's perfect, exactly the same as advocating that we hunt down and murder every last man, woman, and child on Earth?
Hey. Speciest?
Someone who's prejudiced against other species.
Yeah, I know what it is, but...
But, yeah, this movie is set on a college campus, so this is by far the most realistic turn of events so far. Dean's friend, Hastings, played by John Paul Pitock, establishes he's a friend and exists before leaving until some time when he can be useful to the plot. In the meantime, Dr. Turner, played by Christopher Neame, introduces a conflict by telling Dean that for no apparent reason, the college has decided to cut all funding to his 99.9% complete fusion reactor thing. So good luck, bitch. Find another project or you're out of a scholarship.
Wait. You're cutting the funding? You can't cut the funding. I can do anything I want.
Good guys, bad guys, doesn't matter. Nobody makes good decisions in horror movies. Such as Abbott taking that alien infant back to his home to raise in the basement only for it to kill his pet and only friend in the world.
Cat.
His cat named Cat. No wonder he is thrown off by a student named Dean. It seems the infant has now grown into a walking, talking, food-demanding murder factory. Well, she wants food, she gets food. And with the first alien girl being named Syl, and Syl's clone being named Eve, what's this one's name?
Sarah.
Excuse me? You don't have a name.
I was just going to call you Hybrid Monster, but I guess Sarah will do. He doesn't keep that a secret from her either. He's very open about the fact that she is a one-of-a-kind alien-human hybrid.
See, you are the third generation of something very special.
Though Abbott isn't exactly the best at keeping track of the family tree. Syl was cloned into Eve. That wasn't her daughter, so technically, being Eve's daughter, Sarah is second generation, not third, but... Either way, I still have no fucking idea where in the hell Abbott got all of these secret government experiment notes from. Especially when you consider how we see the agent deal with learning that Eve gave birth before she died.
Yellow copy's yours? I just need the top copy for my records.
No records. This never happened. Burn the body now.
I can only imagine that Abbott was sitting just out of frame the last two movies, peeking through windows, eating popcorn. For now, though, he's getting calls wondering just how he managed to spend hundreds and thousands of university funds on stationery. But before he can confront Turner, the half-breed shows up. The kid from the truck at the opening, all grown up and horrendously ill. Running some tests, it seems that the half-breeds have absolutely no immune system whatsoever, and basic pollen is killing the shit out of them. So, little antihistamine should do the trick. Or, make him melt into a horrifying puddle of gore, tentacles, and Alka-Seltzer. Well, only one thing to do now. Bring that student you don't like to come check out the alien corpse in your office. Surprise, kid, aliens are real, and they've been fucking humans. The half-breeds are flawed, though, and dying. Thus, more will come. But don't worry, Abbott's got a plan. No, not to stop them, or to protect the human race, or anything even remotely noble.
I'm talking about the engineering of a disease-resistant, perfect
alien species. How?
Shouldn't your first question be, why? His plan's pretty simple. We chop up the half-alien, chop up his DNA, filter out the human until we have pure distilled alien, then we just gotta go to get it procreate with more alien. Well, with him having his own little alien at home, who's getting ready for procreation? Right when Turner shows up looking to find out what Abbott's been busy blowing the university's money on. Distracted by tits, though, he figures, fuck it. But, lest we forget, the alien species doesn't like to mate with those who don't meet their personal DNA standards, and Turner gets turned down before things go that far. Unfortunately, he doesn't take rejection well. Fortunately, though... The body count rises. For the low price of $9.95. Man, those were some cheap effects. So she's grown, horny, and already gone by the time the boys return with the trash bags full of desiccated corpse, only to find another corpse, the body of Turner.
What are you doing? Here. His access card might come in handy.
Dude, how in the hell did you know that was going to be handy in Act 3? What, was it shiny and it went right into your key items pocket? Dean immediately wants to call the police, but Abbott is quick to point out that Dean was last seen in public having a heated disagreement with the late Mr. Turner. So what are the police gonna think? A naked half-alien chick tentacled him to death, or Dean did it? That's enough to get him to forget that plan, but he's not gonna help Abbott with his science experiments to make the perfect alien killing machine unless he also gets equal credit. That's right, if he's gonna doom the human race, it sure as hell ain't gonna be for exposure. Now, well, first things first, gotta ditch the dead dude before we watch Sarah, played by Sunny Mabray, out on the town looking for some college cock. Only one problem. You know how Syl and Eve wouldn't go for anyone who had any kind of genetic diseases? Well, Sarah is kinda like that, but her standards are way too fucking high. So not a single stud in all the fraternities on campus meets her requirements for a mate. Not to worry, our friendly alien-wary citizen Colleen spots her sitting all alone on this cold night, wearing next to nothing, and offers her a ride home. However, along the way, Sarah senses some half-breed on the train with a one-way ticket to Bone Town. But all this manages to do is get her to accidentally chop her arm off. Ah well, just grow another one, I guess. Start! It's fine, Sarah. Yeah, she's not in any danger, but of course she can't start the car. It's a horror movie.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
Point is, Sarah fails to mate and thus returns home, makes Dean's acquaintance, and we can watch Dean get the lowdown on the backstory from Abbott. Seems he got the files from Xavier Fitch, who I can only assume failed to keep things under wraps as he was live tweeting the previous two movies the whole time. Summarized by Abbott, yeah, the last two movies were nice and all, but Sarah here has even more alien DNA, making her the most perfect one yet. Which also means it's perfectly safe to have her gallivant around town looking for cock, because pure human DNA is simply out of the question for her. She wants to fuck an alien, and we all know those aren't walking around. Oh, yeah. That's right, the half-breeds we established and that she ran into and that everyone knows exists. Yeah, they get back together real fast.
Something's wrong.
Nothing's wrong.
There's something wrong with you. A sickness.
I'm fine.
You're not fine.
Which she also can't screw because of the previously established genetic diseases. Man, penis everywhere, but not a cock to mate. So, sorry half-breed, but Sarah isn't gonna half-ass this booty call. So, great. That means no one is progressing on the projects at all. Sarah can't get laid. Abbott hasn't isolated and purified that alien DNA, and Dean gets his ass absolutely handed to him in Sarah's first ever game of chess. Better get something going on to advance the plot, so, hey, remember Dean's bestest buddy and roommate Hastings? Well, he just so happened to get a very oddly worded email from an insanely hot chick who is interested in advanced biochemistry. Man, where were these women when I was in school? Dean thinks he's being catfished, but that's a topic for another scene. We gotta continue studying that alien babe, and study we will. But what's this? A half-breed has snuck his way into the lab and intends to forcibly mate with her. Ew. So Abbott decides, fuck it, let's just release the gas and kill them both before that can happen. But Dean will not allow the hot alien babe to die like that, and attacks the half-breed. A super powerful alien monster. Just, go in there and hit check him. That'll be fine. So Abbott has to go in and save his stupid ass, as well as Sarah's shapely ass, resulting in Abbott being grabbed, thrown, and impaled.
You're gonna be okay, all right? You're gonna be okay. I doubt it.
Oh, come on, those organs weren't really that vital, were they? With Abbott's dying breaths, he tells Dean that he must be the one to create the new, perfect alien species. After all, they got a lab, most of the work done, and hey, Abbott harvested Sarah's eggs already, really not much left to do. But Dean is starting to realize something.
Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should.
Tagline for the whole damn movie right there. But there's a bit of a problem with it going an hour and 15 minutes into a movie and just stopping. Really anticlimactic and a bit short for a feature film, so Sarah decides, fuck it, Dean's good enough, they can procreate. But he says, no, begone thought, she shall not have his precious baby gravy. And you'd think this might mean she'd just go off and grab literally anyone else on campus, but nope, instead we get plot thrust back into the main events by none other than our occasionally useful side character, Hastings. Seems the lady in the email liked what he sent her. What he sent her being all those secret documents that Dean had lying around about the human-alien hybrid biological experimentation going on.
You went through my shit? Jesus, man, why did you do that?
Other question, who in the fuck just leaves that kind of shit lying around in their dorm room? Fortunately, Hastings thought it was just impossible theoretical bullshit. Unfortunately, this mysterious Amelia lady he responded to, he did with his email, which Dean believes means she must be able to figure out where they are. Yeah, I'm sure fucknugget69 at dumbass.org really narrows it down. But who is this mysterious Amelia? We get that answered right quick as the movie introduces Amelia, played by Amelia Cook. As this is our first time seeing her, we need to get the important character traits out of the way quickly. She's an alien and fucks people to death. And according to IMDb, she has double D's, giving her the biggest rack of all extraterrestrial life. It's a hell of a bullet point for your resume. Well, now that she's all filled up, she takes her car straight to the college campus this movie insists on being set in, right into Hastings' dorm room. He's all for it. While he still thinks she's out of her mind and her arriving should be very concerning, she is smoking hot and he is looking to get laid. But oh darn it, she is more than willing, but only after seeing all his work in his lab with the specimen that he talked about in the data. He tries to blow that off like, that was just a joke, and he sent her made-up bullshit. But she knows it's real and wants to know what he's hiding. Where's Dean in all this? Well, taking a convenient run, of course. No time like the present to establish he does that. Good thing, too, because he spots Amelia, so he must run! Hiding in the dorm of miscellaneous side character who can up the body count and nobody will feel too bad about, before being saved because Amelia and Sarah sense each other's presence! Yeah, they can do that now. Super long range. Gotta get this climax moving, so Amelia kidnaps Hastings and...
Good ending.
Fucking agent just pops up again. I guess he realized all this frat boy bullshit really doesn't make for an entertaining climax in your secret government Project Alien hybrid action movie. Surprise! The government was behind Project Athena and stopping the alien menace, but they can't afford that kind of climactic action sequence for this movie, so Wasak is left to do what he can off the record.
Unfortunately, the current administration has much less of an appetite for science fiction, shall we say.
It would figure. You see, this is exactly why we need a Space Force. Anyway, while Amelia takes Hastings to Abbott's secret lab, which Hastings didn't know about, and Amelia seems to not know about just 2 minutes ago, forcing him to try and sequence that cleaned-up half-breed DNA and inseminate those handy-dandy Sarah eggs, Sarah shows up as well. Well, guess it's time to join side evil. Amelia seems nice.
Please. Don't make me do this.
Do it.
I'm honestly surprised he's even realizing this isn't in his best interest. All the dumb shit he's done up to this point, and he draws the line at artificial insemination. It's just not natural. But wait! A random smoke bomb firecracker lodged in a cheap $5 metal prop fills the room with anti-alien gases. The kind that work on Amelia, but not Sarah. I think it's supposed to be the same they used earlier, but those worked on Sarah too. The point is, Hawkins escaped with the frozen Sarah eggs. That way they can all hightail it to that natural gas power plant and do this climax proper.
Listen, why don't I just head on home?
Oh, for fuck's sake, Hastings, you may be pointless from here on out, but you just can't leave in the middle of the fucking climax. Dean rushes in and uses that super ultra extra convenient personal keycard that he just so happened to have to fire up that phenomenally well-established fusion generator so that he may destroy Sarah's eggs once and for all. But wait, Amelia is not dead, and she intends to get those eggs back. But wait, Sarah saves Dean from Amelia. Something, power of love, evil is defeated. Until Amelia also pulls Sarah into the reactor, killing them both and destroying the eggs once and for all. The end. Except, of course, the movie just keeps going, and we watch Dean get better, Hastings do some menial tasks, and, oh yeah, there's a new alien kid and Sarah is still alive.
There's something I haven't told you.
What, this is another one of those movies that actively punish you for paying attention to the plot? It's more like one of those that straight up lie to the audience and change events around later, pretending like it's a twist when it's more of a 5-minute retcon. Sarah never died, and there was some half-breed DNA kicking around, so fuck it. Make that purified alien that this time looks human for no apparent reason, and voila! Let them go off in the sunset together. A happy alien couple that will doom the planet if they procreate.
I didn't say he was fertile, did I?
I know, but Sarah has been sniffing out genetic disorders all movie, and she seems pleased with him. Also, I know they established they took all of her eggs, but, I mean, she can regrow an arm. What's to say she can't pop out a few new sets of ovaries? Never mind. I'm thinking about this more than the writers did. Anyway, that was Species 3. Sweet alien fucking Christ! It's that familiar, sad sight of a once notable franchise pumping out a straight-to-video sequel that's, at best, just doing the motions, at a low enough budget to maybe make a profit, as a secondary objective compared to the actual goal of keeping the rights to the studio. Still, there are reasons we enjoyed these franchises in the first place, and you can sometimes get a bit of that flavor just out of doing the motions. So, how does Species 3 fare? You get your alien-human hybrids, naked chicks, and alien fucking, but the absolutely mind-boggling decision to sit the whole thing in a college campus absolutely does not work in its favor. First of all, my high school dropout house identifies with college students just about as well as I do with secret government agents. But more importantly, it's incredibly jarring that those secret government agencies suddenly didn't seem to give a flying fuck about this walking apocalypse gallivanting around campus looking to screw their way into ending the human race. Just, let the kids deal with it or something. And deal with it they kinda do? Like I said, it doesn't really fit, so we violently shift from college to secret basement laboratories, and violently shift back again when the plot says so. The setting was clearly and obviously decided after the main plot, and things really don't logically lead into each other as they should. Even when the movie does take the time to try and set things up for later, it's clunky, out of place, and painfully obvious. I mean, why the hell else would this alien hybrid erotic horror set on a college campus just throw a random fusion generator in our faces in Act 1 and mention exactly how one goes about turning it on? What other reason could there possibly be? At the end of the day, Species 3 is a generic straight-to-video low-budget horror flick that barely utilizes the Species license for anything beyond having an excuse to have hot naked chicks walking around. A welcome addition, but not enough to really live up to its predecessors, coming in at 2 tentacles to the brain out of 5. And they also made a 4th one. I don't know, give me 2 years, I might get to it. Thank you all for watching. I've been Shado. And remember, no means no. And aliens have a way of making that very clear.
Who are you to judge which species lives or dies?
What?